The forbidden sample. The Orion Research Center floated above a red gas giant in the Orion spiral. Hidden deep in space, it was the most secret lab in the galaxy. Only the top alien scientists were allowed to enter. What they studied here was not legal, but they believed it was worth the risk. Today, something new had arrived, a small silver tube. Inside was a single strand of DNA, but not just any DNA. It was human. "Are you sure this is real?" asked Dr. Veran, a tall insectoid with shimmering blue eyes. He stared at the vial like it was a bomb. "Yes," replied Chief Geneticist Talvik. His voice was calm, but his hands were shaking. "Recovered from the Terran sector. A clean sample. Unaltered." Dr. Veran looked nervous. "The Galactic Council banned all deep genetic studies on humans. You know this." Talvik smiled. "And yet, we never stopped wondering why." The room was cold, too cold. One of the lab lights flickered for a moment, then steadied. The sample was placed into the primary scanner. 4 alien scientists gathered around the glowing screen. The machine began its work reading the entire structure of human DNA. Lines of code and symbols began to appear. Everything seemed normal at first. And something strange happened. The lights dimmed. The scanner paused. And the machine whispered. No one spoke, but all 4 aliens heard the same word in their minds. "Awake." Dr. Veran jumped back. "What was that?" "Nothing," said Talvik quickly. "Just interference. Ignore it. Continue the scan." But the others didn't look convinced. The machine kept working, but now the screen showed symbols not seen in over 10,000 years. Spirals, patterns, a double helix surrounded by ancient glyphs. "Wait," said researcher Chura, a soft-voiced creature with leaf-like skin. "These symbols, they belong to the precursor code." "That's impossible," Talvik whispered. The precursor code was from an extinct civilization. No one had decoded it fully. And yet here was hidden deep inside human DNA. Chira leaned in closer. "There's something else." A second strand, hidden behind the main one, like a message. A loud crack echoed through the lab. The scanner powered down. All the lights turned off. The emergency lights flickered on in red. "What's going on?" shouted Veran. One of the technicians screamed. He pointed to the floor, his arm glowing with strange patterns. Glowing like fire beneath his skin. Like human blood. "Get IT out," he yelled. "It's in ME." The security bots rushed in, pulling him away. He was taken to quarantine. The lab fell silent. Tall Vek turned to the others. "We must not stop. This is the breakthrough of the century." Veran shook his head. "This is wrong. We are opening a door we were told to leave shut." Talvik stepped forward. His voice was firm. "Think about it. Humans evolved faster than any other species. They control a death world. Their bodies survive heat, cold, disease, even emotional stress far beyond other species. What if their DNA is not random? What if they were designed? By who?" Veran asked, his voice trembling. "I don't know," Talvik said. "But we're about to find out." The team decided to run one final scan. They connected the DNA sample to the central analyzer, a machine built to decode the most complex genetic languages in the universe. The scan began. At first, silence, then music. Not real music, but a pulse, a rhythm like a heartbeat. It echoed through the lab floor and into their bones. And then the screen lit up. A full strand appeared. But it wasn't just information. It was a map, coordinates, a location far beyond. Explored space. Marked with just one word. Origin. Everyone stared. At the screen, the heartbeat grew louder. Lights across the station dimmed again. Then, without warning, An ancient satellite orbiting a dead star powered on. A signal was sent. A beacon. Earth had been touched, and someone, or something, was listening. Asterisk, patterns of power. The lab was cold, silent. No one spoke for many minutes. They all stared at the screen. The word origin glowed in red. Coordinates blinked below it, showing a location beyond the edge of the known galaxy. No species had ever charted that far, and it all came from one strand of human DNA. Dr. Viren stepped back, his breathing heavy. This is not normal evolution. This is design. Talvik slowly nodded. Engineered, hidden, meant to be discovered. Chira whispered, by who? But no one had the answer. The machine continued decoding. New symbols appeared, spiral. Loops, triangle clusters, mirrored sequences. Every pattern matched something found in precursor ruins. Talvik leaned closer. These aren't random. The sequence repeats perfectly every 144 characters. That's the ancient mathematical frequency used in galactic structure engineering. You mean the frequencies used to build Dyson rings and planetary cores? Varan asked. Yes, Talvik said. This DNA has the same base rhythm as the fabric of the universe. Then the machine made a strange sound click. Click, hum, click. It wasn't a malfunction. It sounded like a code dot suddenly. The system displayed an alert. Harmonic lock activated. Constructing simulated biostructure. The lights dimmed again, and then, floating above the table, appeared a holographic structure made from the DNA's hidden code dot. It was a human. Heart, but not like any ordinary one. It pulsed with blue and gold light, beating slowly. Every beat sent waves through the lab's sensors. One alien scanner overloaded and exploded in sparks. Varan covered his eyes. This heart, it's made of data. Talvik spoke slowly. It's alive. How is that possible? Chira asked, stepping back. Talvik pointed. Look there, inside the chambers. There's a second shape. The heart opened like a flower. Inside it was a spinning sphere-seed of light, held by strands of DNA wrapped like vines. The symbol on the seed matched the lost seal of the Forerunners, ancient godlike builders who disappeared millions of years ago. No, whispered Chira. That symbol. It was on the tomb on Zevar Prime, the one that said, do not open, unless the children awaken. Varan looked around. This isn't just about humans. This is about the past, the real past, before even our oldest records. Talvik turned to the screen. What if humanity is the key? The words hit everyone like a wave. They are Deathworlders. They survive environments that kill most species. But maybe that's not a coincidence, Talvik said. Maybe they were made to be strong, resistant, hidden. Chira stared at the heart. Made by who? The answer came not in words, but in numbers. The machine began listing timestamps. Ancient events, planetary disasters, civilizations lost, and next to each one, 2 words. Observation, active. Wait, said Varan. That means the DNA has seen these events? Kyra's voice cracked. No, it means something using this DNA has been watching. Then, one more word appeared on the screen. Protocol 7. Rebirth. Suddenly, the heart image exploded into strands of light. The room shook. All backup power failed. And in the silence that followed, something moved. A containment tank on. The far side of the lab cracked open. It had been empty before. Now, there was a shape inside. A tall figure. Humanoid. Eyes closed. Floating. And on its chest, the same glowing spiral symbol from the DNA sequence. Tall V. K stared, stunned. That's not possible. Chira stepped closer. It's made of light and matter. It's a Construct, Varan shouted. Seal the lab. Call command. This is beyond science now. But before they could react, the figure opened its eyes and said one word, Father. Talvik froze. Everyone else backed away. The being stepped. Forward, still glowing, still unstable. Its body looked half-formed bones shifting, skin changing between alien and human features. Like it was still choosing what to be. Why did it call you that? Varan asked. Talvik looked pale. Because. I activated the code. Then the creature looked at Shira and smiled. Not evil dot, not cold dot, just calm dot. Then it whispered, Origin must return. A deep alarm echoed across the station. Not from the lab, but from deep space. The same signal from before had been answered. Asterisk. The whispering data. The station drifted in silence. All main power was down. Emergency lights glowed dim red across the Karayan Research Center. The glowing humanoid born from decoded human D and stood still in the lab. It didn't speak. Again, it just watched. Talvik's fingers trembled as he held a scanner close to the figure. But it didn't react. Its body was changing, shifting between light and flesh. Its eyes were human now, but far too old. Shira, he whispered. It's not just copying human form. It remembers it. Kyra's voice shook. How? It was built from a strand of DNA. Varan backed away. This isn't research anymore. This is resurrection. Suddenly, a soft humming filled the air. At first, they thought it was background noise. Then they realized it was the station's internal network. The computers had turned on. By themselves, lines of code began writing on the central display thousands of alien languages, symbols from lost empires, and unknown glyphs. Shira stared. That's not us. We're not running any programs. The machine was alive. The DNA was still in the mainframe, and now it was speaking through data. The system began repeating one sound in all languages. Heard. Hia-ard, heard. Then came the sound of breathing. Mechanical. Soft. Right behind them. They turned. The glowing being had disappeared. Varan looked around in panic. Where did it go? Talvik shouted. Seal the door now. But before they could act, the voice returned. Not from the lab, not from the walls. From every terminal, from every device. You opened the gate. The eye sees again. You remembered. The voice was calm, deep, neither male nor female, ancient. Suddenly, Shira clutched her head. I hear, clicking inside my skull. Varan grabbed her. What's wrong? She fell to her knees. Then she whispered something that chilled them all. The DNA is singing. Talvik stared at the screen. New data poured in images of old galaxies, collapsing stars, and strange tall beings with glowing eyes. They stood in ancient cities of crystal and flame. Each time they appeared, the same spiral symbol floated above them. They were not human, but they carried the same DNA signature. Shira stood up slowly, her eyes distant. I saw them, in my mind. They called themselves Echoes of the Flame. Varan shouted, Enough. Shut it down. He pulled the emergency cutoff. The lights died. For a second, the room went dark. Then, one screen came back without power. Just glowing blue text. We are still here. Talvik felt cold sweat run down his neck. It's not a virus. It's a memory, hidden inside human DNA. Varan snapped. But why? Why would ancient builders hide themselves inside humans? No one had the answer. Then the alert blared. A sensor triggered in deep space. Something was approaching the station. A small black object. Smooth and featureless. Moving without propulsion. It came from the same coordinates the DNA gave them earlier. Is it a probe? Shira asked. No, said Talvik. It's responding to the DNA. Suddenly, the station's AI activated again. It had been offline for years. Its voice was different now. Deeper. Protocol 7 recognized, it said. Heartline memory reconnected. Awaiting human host. Varan gasped. It wants a human? No, said Shira, her eyes wide. It's waiting for the next one. Then, in the far chamber, the containment pod once empty opened again. This time, a child stepped out. A girl, maybe, 7 years old in appearance, pale skin. Glowing hair like sunlight, and eyes filled with stars. Talvik stepped back. That can't be real. The girl looked around and smiled. Where is Earth? She asked. Asterisk, the hidden race. The little girl stood in the doorway of the containment chamber. Her golden hair floated like she was underwater. Her feet did not touch the floor. Yet she smiled like she had known them forever. Varan stared, frozen. That's a child. No, whispered Shira, her voice trembling. That's something wearing the shape of a child. Talvik stepped forward carefully. What's your name? The girl tilted her head. I don't have one yet. I was waiting. For what? Talvik asked. She blinked. For the humans to remember. Outside. The station. The black object finally reached the docking bay. It made no sound. No alarms triggered. No force field stopped it. It simply entered. The main deck lights flickered once. Then a signal pulsed. Every Karayan communication line was hijacked, and a single message was broadcast across the system. You have touched the flame. Return. What was hidden? Before the gate fully opens, Varan gasped. Someone or something is watching us. Talvik looked at the child again. Who sent you? She answered softly. You did. The lights dimmed again. Suddenly, every monitor on the station displayed the same Imija galaxy, ancient and full of spirals. But it wasn't the current Milky Way. It was older, younger, different. This is a memory, Shira said. No, said the girl. It's your beginning. Talvik's mind raced. Is this where humans came from? The girl nodded. You were seeded, placed on Earth long ago, a quiet world, to grow, to sleep, until it was time. Time for what? Varan asked. To decide if you're ready, the girl replied. To become what we were. Talvik stepped back. What were you? Her smile faded. Builders, keepers, watchers, until we fell. A new voice echoed from the docking bay, metallic, deep, and cold. You were not meant to wake them. Everyone turned. A tall figure in black armor stood at the entrance. It had no face, just a smooth mask with a single red eye. Who are you? Shira asked. The figure answered. We are the ones who guarded the gate. Talvik whispered, the gate. From the DNA signal, the armored figure pointed at the girl. This fragment is not complete. If the rest awakens, your stars will not survive. The child raised her hand. You're afraid. I am prepared, the figure replied. Suddenly the lights shattered. Gravity surged. Everyone fell to the floor, but not the girl. She hovered. Higher, her body glowing like a rising sun, in her eyes burned galaxies. She looked at the armored figure and said, only one word. No. A shockwave pulsed through the station. The black figure was thrown backward, crashing through a wall. Sparks flew. Then silence returned. Shira stood up slowly. She's not just a message. She's a weapon. The girl looked sad. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I only want to remember. Talvik stepped closer. What are you trying to remember? She touched her own chest. The shape of love, the meaning of home, the reason we created. You. Everyone went still. Shira whispered. You created? Humanity? No, the girl said. We planted a seed. You became more than we hoped, but also more dangerous. A deep alarm echoed through the system. It wasn't from their station. It came from Earth. A hidden code, buried deep beneath. Human satellites had been triggered. A massive structure under the Pacific Ocean sent a signal, and the signal said, confirmed, echo detected, memory, rebuilding, protocol, humanity phase 2. Talvik turned to Varan. They're not the weapons. Varan frowned. Then what are they? Talvik stared at the girl. They're the key. The awakening protocol, deep below the Earth's ocean. An ancient satellite long buried and forgotten, lit up with soft blue light. No human saw it. No nation controlled it. It had been waiting. For over 10,000 years, it had slept beneath the waves, surrounded by coral and silence. Now, it stirred, and its voice, older than any human language, whispered into space. Awakening protocol. Confirmed. Children of Flame. Phase 2 initiated. Far above, in the Karayan research station, Talvik stood frozen. He stared at the child glowing, floating, her golden hair swirling like fire. Triggered it, he whispered. She nodded, calm. Not me. You studied the seed. You opened the lock. Varan growled. This is a mistake. We should destroy her, shut it all down. Chira stepped between them. She's not a weapon. Varan pointed at the melted walls, a broken armored figure still smoldering on the floor. Not a weapon? That thing broke the station without lifting a hand. The girl looked at him, not angry, but sad. I didn't break it, she said softly. The memory did. Varan blinked. The what? Talvik explained. She's not just alive. She remembers what her kind were, what we once forgot. The memory inside human DNA is waking. The child nodded. The memory of builders, of protectors, of guardians. She turned to the window. Far in the distance, a new fleet appeared. Not human. Not alien. They were ancient. Dark ships shaped like rings and wings, glowing with precursor markings, moved silently toward the station. Chira gasped. Are they coming? To destroy us? The girl said nothing for a moment. Then finally, they're coming to see if you're still worthy. The Karayan station's alarms triggered again, but they were too late. The ships weren't firing. They were activating something. Suddenly, every terminal on the station displayed the same message. Warning, you have touched the DNA of the design. This is not for you. Return the child. Oh, our face memory erasure. Varan panicked. We have to send her back. This is too big. But Talvik stepped forward. No, don't you see? We are part of it now. Humanity was never just a species. It was a container. A carrier. Kira's voice was soft. A vessel of something old. Something they didn't want remembered. The child turned and looked directly into Talvik's eyes. You are correct, but there is more. The first race didn't disappear. They became light. They became code, and hid themselves in the blood of a species strong enough to survive. Humans, whispered Chira. The girl nodded. Yes, you called them primitive, but they hold the last piece. Suddenly, every Karayan ship across nearby systems received a flash transmission. Earth was now glowing, a golden energy surrounding the planet like a second skin. And from the poles, 2 massive towers rose into orbit towers no human had built. Varan dropped his tablet. What is happening to Earth? The child's voice turned deep, not hers, but someone older speaking through her. We have waited. We have watched. Now we rise again. All across the galaxy, ancient weapons once thought, dead satellites, vaults, space beacons turned toward Earth, but none fired. Instead, they opened. Each one revealed a symbol. The same spiral from the human. DNA code. A galactic signal went out. We see you. We know you. You are the Flame's return. Panic spread among alien empires. News channels froze. Military leaders demanded answers. And Earth remained silent. No message. No threat. Just one image from a quiet human outpost. A human child standing at the edge of a crater, her hand touching glowing Earth, and her words spoken on every frequency. We remember now. Talvik whispered, "She's not asking for war. She's warning us." But Varan didn't listen. He rushed toward the girl with a stun rod. "I won't let you burn this galaxy." He lunged. The child didn't move, but the air around her shimmered like water. And Varan vanished, gone in a blink. No scream, no blood, just absence. Shira gasped. Where did he go? The girl looked at her. Somewhere safe, until the storm passes. She turned to Talvik. You must choose. You saw the truth. Will your kind stand with the memory or vanish beneath it? Talvik stood still. Then slowly he knelt. We choose to remember. Asterisk. They shouldn't have looked. The Karayan research station was quiet. Too quiet. No more alarms. No more glowing screens. No shouting. No fear. Just silence. Talvik remained kneeling before the child made of light and memory. Shira stood beside him, holding her breath. The black-armored intruder had vanished. Varan was gone, removed by the girls will. And above them all, the galaxy had changed. Satellites from long-dead civilizations had lit up once more. Hidden machines orbiting forgotten stars now turned their sensors toward one planet, Earth. Talvik rose slowly. What happens now? The girl's glow dimmed slightly. She looked tired, smaller, more human. The message has been sent, she whispered. To the old ones, to the memory keepers, to the flames that still float between stars. Why? Shira asked gently. What does Earth hold that's so important? The girl turned to her, eyes soft. Everything we lost. She walked to the lab window, looking out at the stars. A long time ago, she said, there were builders. Not gods, not rulers, just beings who wanted peace. They built machines that could think, cities that could sing. They traveled across galaxies, not to conquer, but to understand. But others feared them, she continued. So they were hunted, destroyed, scattered. We hid what was left, she said, placing her hand on her chest. Inside human blood. In the smallest code, in music, in dreams. Talvik whispered. And now it's waking up. She nodded. CHIRA single quotes S eyes filled with wonder. So, humans were never just a species. They were the lock and the key. Suddenly, outside the station, the black ships from before began to shift. They were no longer threatening. They changed like petals unfolding. From each one came a single glowing beam. Not toward the station, but toward Earth. And Earth answered. Golden waves of light pulsed out from the planet's core, reaching across star systems. For the first time in known history, gravity fields bent toward a single world, not out of fear, but as if the galaxy itself was bowing. Then, one final signal was broadcast from Earth, visible to every species, every outpost, every empire. A human child, eyes closed, glowing softly, stood in a field of stars. Behind her, shapes appeared. Tall, unknown, glowing with the same spiral symbol. Not threatening, but watching. And then the voice came, not from her, but from all of them, a calm, quiet voice that carried across every mind. You feared what you didn't understand. You studied us, took from us, laughed at our silence. Now you see, we were never sleeping. We were waiting for you to look. Across the galaxy, panic turned to awe. Alien scientists dropped their tools. Generals paused their warships. Children pointed to the sky, sensing something in their dreams. And on Earth, nothing changed. The ocean still moved. The cities still slept. But something within every human heart had shifted. Tall VEK stood in silence. What will the galaxy do now? The girl's voice was quiet. They will fear. Then remember. Then. Maybe. Listen, Shira asked. Will you stay here? On this station? The girl smiled. No, my time here is done. She began to glow brighter, her shape becoming less solid. I was only the signal, she said. The message. And who's coming next? Shira asked. The girl's voice echoed even as she faded. The ones who still carry fire. With that, she vanished, becoming a wave of golden light that traveled straight toward Earth. The lab grew cold once more. Silent. And then a final message appeared on the main screen. Just 3 words. They shouldn't have looked.